holy moly, me oh my, you're the apple of my eye. Well, I never loved one like you.
Man, oh man, you're my best friend. I scream into the nothingness. There ain't nothing that I need.
Well, hot and heavy, high chocolate candy, Jesus Christ, ain't nothing please me more than you.
Let me come home. Home is where I'm with you.
Following that, we have JBT, or those in the know, the John Butler Trio. Except we couldn't get them, so we've got the Johnny Mac Trio. Followed by that, I'm just looking at the sheet there. Yes, then after that we have Dead Kennedys. The Dead Kennedys are here, ladies and gentlemen. No, we couldn't get them, so we have Dead Men RFH. That's from terms of holidays. I think it's been a 10-year holiday. We're back on stage. 7:30 we have Bench, which is a band, a band, and we put a cheer really loud into that. And Rachel. Followed by Baby Chinos, which is Bridget and Tarly. And then we might have a secret guest somewhere around about there, and then we're followed up by Joe Neptune, who are a seriously good band. So that's the running order. But before, while I've got your attention, and Mike and Bill, I hope you don't mind taking a seat.
Go right ahead.
I could. I thought I might start the day rolling off with a speech about some important people in my life. And the context that I'm putting this in is I see my life as like a movie. And in every movie that you see at the end when they roll the credits, they absolutely thank everyone. The bloke who sort of manicured the lawns, the guy that did the hair of the person that did the driving around and so on. So I thought, well, if they can do it in a film, I should be able to do it at my 50th. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to step inside, you might be able to see the credits to my life.
Lexstock the word as if a sacred vow, but Lex is so much older than is younger than that now.
That is about my father, and this is one of his favourite songs, or it's the song that I remember most about Dad. He just kept putting this on high rotation in our house, and I really think it. But anyway, just a few words about Dad.
Where is he?
There he is. So thanks very much for coming on, Mum and Dad. I just want to thank you for a couple of scenes in my life, in the movie of my life. One was where you taught Stuart and I how to drop kick. Very, very useful skill tonight. Also, you taught me how to use a spade and a drill and a saw, which actually were pretty useful. You taught me how to go supermarket shopping. The trick to that was to buy a stick of Cabana and eat it on the way home to make it sort of enjoyable. The holiday scenes in my film with you were also wonderful thanks to your great planning and the mix of engineering sightseeing you put into them. So we went to see the Big Banana, and then we saw an industrial incinerator. Then we went to see the lorikeets at Burley Heads. Then we saw a toilet block with an interesting cantilevered roof. You also taught me the importance of car parking. And now most scenes in my life that involve you and me starting in with, is there anywhere to park? So thank you very much for that.
Look at it, look at it.
The next person in my life, I'd like to, I'll intro this person with a particular song.
It's your mum.
Yes, it's my mother, played by Margaret. The scenes with my mum were quite different from the ones with my father. They were all about constantly encouraging me and reinforcing me that I was good at everything. Can I swim well? Yes, you can. Can I sing in tune? Yes, you can. I'll find out a bit later if that's true. Can I sail around the bay as a 12-year-old with my crazy mate Stalky Reed? Yes, you can. In fact, when Barack Obama got elected with the same mantra, I wondered whether Barack was one of the 37 exchange students that we had. It became a bit of a blur to me. Could have been. So she definitely was ahead of her time with this learned optimism stuff. In fact, the reason we're here at all at this music festival is that when a little voice inside my head said, "But can I really pull off a music festival at our house?"
Yes,
there was
you
I'm just going to introduce the next act. It's me and Katrina. Sorry, Katrina and I. She's the movie.
Alabama, Arkansas, I do love my ma and pa, not the way that I do love you.
Well, holy moly, me oh my, you're the apple of my eye. Well, I never loved one like you.
Man, oh man, you're my best friend. I scream into the nothingness. There ain't nothing that I need.
Well, hot and heavy, high chocolate candy, Jesus Christ, ain't nothing please me more than you.
Let me come home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Oh, home. Let me come home. Home is wherever I'm with you. La 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 la, take me home. Father, I'm coming home.
I'll follow you into the park, through the jungle, through the dark. I never loved one like you.
Boats and boats and waterfalls, alleyways and payphone calls. I've been everywhere with you.
We'll laugh until we think we're fine, barefoot on a summer's night. Nothing new is sweeter than with you.
And in these streets we run a free like it's only you and me. Gee, oh, something to see. Let me come home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Oh, home. Let me come home. Home is wherever I'm with you. La 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 la, take me home. Daddy, I'm coming home.
You remember that day when we met on the graves?
I sure do. You came in with a notepad and pen.
I was busy drawing circles and diagrams on about how we were supposed to be together for the rest of our lives. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
There's something I never told you about that day.
What didn't you tell me?
Well, while you were busy sitting in the window of the graves, I was so much in love with you, I didn't know how I'd last even a day without you in my life. And I never told you till just now. This is my brother
Cut the
Stuart,
camera.
and this would have to be one of the strongest scenes in my early life. It's going and buying Abbey Road with Stuart at must have cost about $1.20, I suppose.
$5.99.
$5.99. Oh, right. We kicked in half as always, and we brought it home, and we just played it constantly. And I don't know if you know the album, but there's a bit in it at the end which has got She's So Heavy, and it just keeps on going on and on. Dad just kept thinking, boys, the record players need to bump again. Try to figure it out. But so with Stuart, I've followed in Stuart's footsteps for 50 years. I've blatantly stolen ideas for my movie from watching his movie a few scenes ahead of mine at a time. It's a bit like going to the drive-in where you're watching my movie and you can just sort of see another one out the side window. You sort of go, oh, that's interesting. I might incorporate a bit of that into my movie. So that's what going through my life with Stuart's been about. He went to Cubs and became a Sixer. I wanted to become a Sixer too. He went to Peninsula School. I wanted to go there too. He went to Europe and came back with photos of him and all these beautiful Scandinavian girls he travelled around with. Strangely, I bought my ticket as soon as I could. Queen's College was the same. So in rewinding and replaying all these scenes with Stuart in them, I realised that the thing I've most gotten from Stuart is that you can create the most interesting path in life completely, uniquely yours if you want to. I think I'll create an upside-down map of the world and sell 500,000 copies of it. Why not? I think I'll start a catering business with no capital, just an idea, and turn it into a cash cow for 27 years. Sure. I think I'll write comedy sketches for the comedy company in my spare time and songs for the Coulda Beans too. Yeah, let's do it. So, thanks very much.
She's coming. She's on the way.
We'll skip her then.
You can see the mood. She has to be.
So, up until Merrin came along, I think Stuart and I thought the world was a little bit blancmange-like. In other words, it was malleable, there were no rights or wrongs, you could do whatever you like. But Merrin's worldview was much more ordered. There is actually right and wrong, black and white, and it's only grey if you stuff up and mix them together. No surprise that she ended up a highly successful lawyer, disentangling complex commercial issues. And she did very well in her studies, as many of you know. A scene in my life that I treasure was the ability to actually do a subject at the same time as her. I did a Securities Institute course, and Merrin did one at the same time as me, and I realised how scarily smart she was. Or she got a distinction, and I didn't. So thank you, Merrin.
with you.
Home, let me come home. Home is wherever I'm with you.
Home, yes I am home. Home is when I'm alone with you. Alabama, Arkansas. I do love mama and papa. Mountain boats and waterfalls. Alleyways and paper cars. Home, let me come home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Home, let me come home. Home is when I'm alone with you.
Proper kiss! Give her a proper kiss!
Well, that got me out of my comfort zone.
Oh, Helen, sorry.
Hello, Lex! Happy 50th! Woo!
That's strange. I don't think Jan actually likes Vampire Weekend, but anyway, let's say that that's her soundtrack to her in my life. Yeah, Jan's an interesting character. Again, she's not here, so we could skip her, but I better say a few things about her. She's a sort of combination of all of us in the family. She's got an even more adventurous streak, though. Again, can you run a community radio station full of Bolsheviks and lesbian separatists? Yes, you can. There's a bit of a theme here. You work magic on all of us. Okay, Smarty Pants, how about going to East Timor and doing the same? Well, okay, sure. Well, then how about going to bomb riddle Afghanistan and put a scarf on your head and see if you can do the same? Sure. So Jan has done all those things, and amazingly professionally as well. And in fact, the most recent thing she did, which amazed all of us, was organise her wedding from Afghanistan. And she's 10,000 miles away, and she still managed to pull it off without a hitch. So she's an amazing organiser. So, in summary, I've led a charmed movie script of a life. And Mum and Dad and Stuart, Merrin and Jan, I'm very happy that Liz Molinar, or whoever cast you in the roles was mine. Thank you very much.
So, I've been wondering and wondering for weeks and weeks why Lex wanted such an over-the-top party. Most people would be content with about 50 to 100 people, but no, not Lex. He had to have 150 people. Most people would be satisfied with one band for their 50th, but no, not Lex. He had to have several bands. And he's not known as a man of excess, and so this has been puzzling me for weeks, but then I finally worked it out. It's his version of a midlife crisis. And following on the theme from Lex's earlier speech about his mother telling him all through his childhood that he could achieve anything he wanted and do anything he wanted, and as a result of that, I'm sure he thinks he's invincible. So he's always confident about everything that he has a go at, including hosting his very own festival. He wasn't ever worried about the weather or the numbers of people or the catering. He left the worrying to me, and I certainly did that very, very well, as many of you will know from my comments here and there along the way. Lex is all about the vision and the big picture, And as his sister Jan says, he embarks on adventures with little fear or planning. I don't have any funny or embarrassing stories to tell you about his sort of much younger days, because even though we lived in the same town, went to the same primary school and knew many of the same people, strangely our paths never crossed. So I'm going to go straight into talking to him about as a person. And when I asked all of his family to describe him, the first thing, of course, they said was tall. He's certainly an imposing presence, but he has a way of making people feel comfortable around him. With Lex around, you can always be assured of stimulating conversation, endless theories about people, life, important issues, and sometimes theories about not so important things as well. He's probably the most optimistic person I've ever met, and I'm sure that you'll all agree with me. He rarely complains about anything, and he takes everything in his stride. I think the quality that most stands out about him is his ability to bring out the best in people. He's a great motivator, and he's really good at building people's confidence. Somehow he manages to persuade people with doubts about themselves that they are the best at what they do. And I've watched this effect that he has on people, both adults and children, myself included, but I've observed it in many, many situations. And when it comes to kids, he's like a magnet. Kids naturally gravitate towards him. And Lex's daughters, Rachel and Bridget, certainly gravitate towards him, and he's a fantastic father and a great friend and male role model to Kate. He's well and truly outnumbered by females in this house, and occasionally we test his levels of tolerance, and we certainly know when we've gone too far, and we're always shocked about it because we're so used to his even temper. Lex has a big heart, he's generous, and always goes that extra distance for family and friends. He's got a strong social conscience, and he walks the talk with his charity activities and volunteering that he does. And I think what I most love about Lex is his capacity to be spontaneous, even in his middle age, and his enthusiasm for life and new opportunities, like having his own music festival. So he's an all-round great guy. And before we toast Lex, I'd just like to thank all the people who've helped get this festival happening. A big thank you to the performers. So far, Mike Rudd and Bill Putt have performed. Hibbo and John McKinnon, thanks for helping us bump in. And I've got our staff, our festival crew, Rose, Ellie, Laura, Michael, Stuart for helping to organise the bar, Rill, Caroline, Lynn, Margaret, Prue, Francine, Rachel, Bridget, Kate, and Janice, who's been working for 2 days helping us. And sorry if I've missed anyone out, but a really, really big thank you to my dear friend Anne, who took control of the kitchen and totally sorted me out. And she's cooking the sausages tonight. And an even bigger thank you to Lex for being the person I most want to spend time with. And I better stop there, I'll get too soppy. So I'd just like everyone to recharge their glasses and say happy birthday to Lex. And now I'm going to introduce Lex.
1, 2, 3. as many of you know, they are the founders and the songwriting duo from I'll Be Gone. But this film that came on GTK in 1971 in our home in Mornington, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was an incredibly catchy song. But more than that, it had a film in it, and the guys seemed to be actually acting out the film. So I was thinking, well, this is a great blend of film and music, because that wasn't actually around at the time. And then, out of nowhere, came my favourite car, which I did heaps of school projects on. I was just in love with this car, and I thought, this is perfect, it's got everything. You'll see it in a second, and the strange thing about it is that it's been driven by Katrina's uncle. I just love that. I love it. It's got a bit of Benny Hill in it, but it's fantastic. But anyway, so I just thought it was sensational, and I was 11 at the time, younger than Bridgie, and I was just so into their music. Just a bit of background on those guys. They first started playing together in 1970. I'll Be Gone, that song there, hit the Go Set charts. Remember getting those Go Set Max things through? Well, I hit them a week and 39 years ago today. So, 1st of May 1971, it hit number 1. It pushed off the Push Bike song.
Whoa.
Hey! It was some very interesting songs I won't go through. It stayed in the top 50 for almost half a year. It stayed in the top 50, yeah, that's right, for almost half a year. Anyway, Bill and Mike went on to form the Mertseps, which cleverly is Spectrum backwards. Then they formed Ariel. They went to Abbey Road. Where's Bridgie? She'll be impressed by this, really impressed. They went to Abbey Road and recorded an album with recording engineer Jeff Emmerich, who had worked with the Beatles. So these guys are one step away from the Beatles. They later formed Mike Rudd's Instant Replay and Mike Rudd and the Heaters, and now having headlined at Sunbury, we are very fortunate to have them headlining the Over the Hill Festival.
Next, I said to Lex, what's your favourite Wilco song? And he said, Spiders. So I said, I'm going to go and do some research, and it goes for 12 minutes. So I decided against Spiders. But anyway, this is a song they did their run, it's great. Jesus, don't cry. Can you die in time? You can find anything you want. I'll be around.
And I went through my family first. Now I'm going to go through the 4 key women in my life at the moment. Can you control Z, a speech? I've just got to go back. 4 women key women in my life. I'm obviously attracted to strong, opinionated, action-oriented women. Just have a look around at all the other women in my life as well. They all fall into that category. But I am going to play just a little bit of an intro for each of these, and I'll play a song first, as just in keeping with the previous part of the speech. So this is a tribute to Kate, really, and I'll just turn the music down again because I can't hear myself. So Kate, I got to know Kate when she was about Bridgie's age, actually, when we started living together, so about 7 years ago. And so we've lived together as a family since then, and I've had a great time. And amongst all the many things I can tell you about Kate, she's introduced us and me to a lot of bands such as Little Red, bands such as Vampire Weekend, Kings of Leon. I actually think I heard about them first, but I'll give it to her. So I'm thrilled that she's got the same sense of music, and I think she either tolerates me when I say, some new band I've heard and what does she think of them, and she just tolerates that, or she actually genuinely is on the same wavelength as me. I choose to think the latter.
Catching up the start of the morning, I thought we'd stay in the No.
But this is a song that
it's on
I
his
sang to
mobile, though.
Rachel when she wouldn't go to sleep, which was a lot actually.
Yeah, I've done that.
And I sang it
Okay,
and
fine.
sang it and sang it. So when she did start speaking and then started singing, she knew the words. Yeah, it was amazing. We had these little duets together, and it was great. That was actually the start of Bench now that I think of it, Rach. The little actors coming along later in life. Now, some of the other songs that in the soundtrack that has accompanied the scenes of Rachel in My Life, Cat Empire, Brimful of Asher, cute little song. We used to watch on Rage on Saturday morning. Eve Klein Blue, she loves this song called Polka, and so do I. And now she's into Bowie, like in a big way. So anyway, it's just some of the songs that have accompanied the times I've spent with Rachel. Thank you very much for sharing them with me. We changed the lights on to not purple. We're just going to go from Lala's. If everyone knows this bit, join in.
On ukulele and melodica, and just to warn you, Bridget's voice is kind of breaking. And if you want to dance to this song, I mean, she's got a cold. And if you want to dance to this song, there's only one move you need to know, and that's the twist. Okay, 1, 2.
Shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on, baby, come on and work it on out. Work it on out. Well,
way, you're the only we've ever had. Yay! Have a nice day.
Bridget loves the Beatles. So I put some of her albums up that she loves and her wide selection of bands. Beatles. She is such a big Beatles fan. I mean, I thought Rachie, after I'd sung Lucy in the Sky, was a big Beatles fan, but Gigi took it to a whole new level. She and Tali have got a Liverpool fund. In fact, if you've got some loose change and you want to contribute, I'm sure they'll be happy to take it. It's up at about $1,800, isn't it? How much? Oh, $500. Oh. And it's planning to get them to Liverpool so they can see all the sites that George, Ringo, Paul and John went to. And they'll make it, I'm sure of it. Hey, you're back on, you're back on.
You've been singing or something.
I went back on the film. I just want to do the Jack Thompson bit. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Oh, nice to meet you.
Say hello, wave to the camera.
Hello, happy birthday, Lex. It's a
Good.
party. Really love the band.
And the final person, yes, you guessed it, is Katrina, straight. And the soundtrack that I have in the scenes of my earliest years with Katrina were all Madonna. But we did actually go to see a number of bands together, and I loved every minute of it. In fact, we've become festival lovers. And we love the same sort of music, so it's great. But we've seen the B-52s at festivals. We saw, well, we didn't see Michael Jackson at a festival. We did see him on the street. We were the last Australians to see Michael Jackson live. Where was it again? Los Angeles, outside. Sunset Boulevard, that's right. And we could have touched his hand, and we should have, but we didn't want to be free, so we didn't. But most importantly, the soundtrack that I most associate with Katrina in my life, to this date anyway, is Home. The song that we just sang you, because home is definitely wherever she is. I've got a few other things to say about it, but I don't think I will, because everyone just went at the right time. But thank you very much for organising it, and it's one thing to have a mother saying, yes, you can do it, Lex, yes, you can do it, and for me to think, yes, I can do it. And it's another thing to actually have someone who actually gets in there and makes it happen. It could have been left to me, well, we won't be sitting out the street. We might have got the Portaloo. I think that's about time. Standing around the Portaloo going, oh, would have been good if we had some banter. Anyway, that's the end of my speech. Thank you all for coming. It's been great so far. You haven't heard the end of me. I've got a few more credits to get through. But I will now pass over. Well, we're going to have a short break and then the next.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lex. Happy birthday to you. Hit it! Hooray! Hit it! Hooray! Hit it! Hooray! Now light the damn thing. No pressure. All those damn matches. Alex, far be it from me to invite you to speak, but have you anything to say?
Well, as it turns out, but I do need my props. Where's my prop girl gone? Where's Rach? So perhaps mingle amongst yourself. And oh, here we go. Part. This is the longest speech you'll ever see at a 50th. It's an ongoing credit roll of all the people in my life that have, well, not all the people in my life. I started doing that, it did take me 3.5 hours. It's a selection of all the people in my life. In fact, it's limited to all the people who are here. A bit easy. So anyone who's not here just didn't make it for the credits. There is this next category, I can't remember who it is now, but perhaps we could play it. Rachel? Oh, here we go. It's the my Williamson buddies and my Pigden buddies. This is a Pigden Film Festival. And there they go. That's all right. Okay, so here are two categories. My school buddies that are here tonight. Don and Joel and Hugh. And here's a selection of some of the songs that we all used to sing along to and stuff. And as well, my Queen's College and Uni Blacks buddies, and you're all there, you know who you are, but there are some of the songs we used to sing along to. I haven't got any of those soundtracks with me, but I thought that was a pretty random, good selection. Thank you very much. Next Oh, these are my Mount Isa buddies, some of whom have left. And in Mount Isa, here are some of the songs that were on my soundtrack to my life at that stage.